Hi guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a 15-year-old trans girl, and I post all things trans youth related. I get a ton of comments in my comment section asking me how I came out. And I haven't really answered them, so I thought in this video I would do that. 3 years ago when I was coming out to people, I split it into 3 stages. Step 1 was my really close and queer friends. The second people I wanted to come out to were my parents. And then the third people I wanted to come out to was like my school as a whole and extended family members. First people I came out to were my close queer friends, and it went really well. It did take me a ton of time to actually come out to them. I think it was like a couple months of just wanting to come out, but never doing it because I was like really scared. But one day, the perfect opportunity arose. One of my friends texted me and they were like, I have to tell you something. I didn't know what they had to tell me, but I had 2 suspicions. First was they were coming out, probably as like a lesbian or something. And second was they had a crush on me. I didn't know which one of those it would be or if it was something else, but that's what I thought it was. We went back and forth, kept texting, and eventually they spilled the beans. And they said that they identified as a demigirl. That was my cue. If my friends are coming out to me, I can do it. I came out to her as trans. I told her my preferred name, and it honestly went really well. Now, I hadn't told anyone else in my friend group, so they were the only one that knew I was trans, and I was the only one that knew that they were a demigirl. We kind of like backed each other up, and we became like really good friends. I think a couple weeks later, we both came out at the same time to my larger friend group, which was maybe 6 or 7 kids. Honestly, it went really well. They were all kind of queer, kind of gay, and then I never came out to the rest of my class. Coming out to my friends and my teacher, it went freaking great. And I was like so excited. I was pumped up. But then the second part of my plan came around, which was coming out to my parents. And oh boy, was I scared. Like, I knew my parents were liberals, and I knew my parents are super progressive. They're on the younger side as well. So I didn't know why I was so worried, but it is a very, very scary thing. But one day I was like, shoot, man, I cannot take this anymore. And I told my mom, and she's like, oh, that's chill. She kind of went by the mindset, what you want, I want for you. And that was really freaking awesome. And then it was time for step 3 of my like coming out plan, which meant coming out to my school, my extended family, and all of my peers. And I'm gonna be honest, I haven't done any of those. I ran away, far away, and never looked back. So basically what I did is after coming out to my mom, I begged and begged and begged her and made up all the excuses possible to switch schools. Not even just schools though, to switch school boards. And I never ever looked back. But it was crazy. So like the last 2 months of grade 6, I switched to a different school board and just went by my preferred name and my preferred pronouns. Never told anyone I was trans. I was maybe 4 months into my social transition, not on any medications yet or anything like that. I definitely did not pass. I don't know how I did it or what I was on, but I never had to come out to my school and I never had to come out to my peers. But then there's extended family. And I had a really good plan for this one, and I still abide by that plan today. The plan is basically just never tell them. And I never did tell them. And it's actually not gone too bad for me. So basically, what occurs is the most hilarious thing ever. First of all, basically every single time someone meets me, they'll refer to me by she, her. I was getting out of the car with my grandpa the other day because he drove me home from school. And this old ass neighbor, like 90 years old, bro, comes up to us and is like, yo, what's up? And then he points at me. It's like, is that your granddaughter? And he looks at the neighbor and he pauses and he says, no, that's my grandson. And the old ass neighbor just stares him dead in the eyes and does not know what to say and then walks off. It is actually hilarious. They still use he, him pronouns to refer to me. So every time we're like out in public, they'll use my dead name and he, him and refer to me, and people just stare. They don't know what's happening. Anyways, that is basically how I came out to everyone and how I made like my pronouns and my preferred name stick, by basically just ditching everyone and starting new. If you have the means to do that, I would recommend it. If you don't have the means to do that, then I mean, just come out to people and maybe reinforce it. Of course, only come out if you're like totally safe to do so. and like it's actually will be beneficial to you. But other than that, yeah, that's how I came out to people. No one I know now at any of my schools or any of my friends know my dead name. So like, yay! Anyways, goodbye YouTube. Thank you for watching this video. You all are the best. And all my trans youth watching this video, I love you guys so much.